Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am packing my lunch for tomorrow, so if you hear little things, that's what it is. Anyway, I just came back from watching The Woman in the Yard, and for my people who have a short attention span, basically what I'm going to talk about is if you are struggling with your mental health, anxiety, depression, BPD, do not go watch this movie because it will make it worse. So, I watched a young gentleman's video, I hope I'll put it on the screen right now, where he talks about his experience watching The Woman in the Yard. And it was a movie where I was debating back and forth whether I wanted to see. I was like, this is clearly some sort of Jordan Peele ripoff. Maybe I don't want to see this. So I was going back and forth. I watched his review of it. I even listened to his spoiler. And he said it put a knot in his stomach and that it ends like in a quote ambiguous way. Like he even acknowledge the fact that it's like LOL type of ambiguous, not like actually ambiguous. Like anybody paying attention to the movie, like the small details of it, will know exactly what the ending means. This movie is basically watching a woman with what I think is BPD lose to her depressive state. This is a woman who lost her husband in a tragic car accident, who she was already struggling with depression and like feelings of emptiness and whatnot, and she gets in a car crash, it kills her husband, she gets back home, and for weeks she neglects her children emotionally and physically, partially because she's hurt physically, like her leg is broken, and partially because she's mentally really fucking bad. And the death of her husband is the straw that breaks the camel's back. That sends her into like a full psychotic sort of break. So The Woman in the Yard represents this woman's BPD / depression, like horrible, like suicidality and depression. And every time, like, she's reminded of shit, it gets a little bit closer, right? When she's reminded of the fact that, like, her kids are picking up her slack, right? And she falls on her, like, hurt leg. The Woman in the Yard gets a little closer. When she realizes she can't be there for her kids in the way that she wants to, The Woman in the Yard gets a little closer. When she feels shame, The Woman in the Yard gets a little bit closer. Until, finally, The Woman in the Yard, obstructs the house. Like, she enters the house. So, I've seen a house represent someone's like mental state in cinema a lot, so I do think that was like a good idea for this movie. But I do again want to stress, if you are struggling mentally, do not watch this movie. It is not worth it. This guy whose review I watched said he had a knot, like a pit in his fucking stomach. I had a knot in my face and in my heart. There was a grown man sitting next to me. The last hour or so of the movie, last 30-ish minutes, his foot was shaking nonstop. Okay? I felt myself like dissociating in there. That's how fucked this movie is. You're just watching a woman lose to her depression. Like, once you get the symbolism of the woman in the yard and everything, her being inside of the house, her, the fact that depression and suicidality and all of that stuff will affect your kids, right? And it's the mom, and there's nothing she can do about it. She can't help herself. She's depressed. So of course it's hurting her kids. She can't help it. Of course it's affecting her kids. She can't help it. And I'm sorry, I'm not even the type of person who always needs a happy ending or an ending that ends in hope and, oh, well, the love of my whatever can make me endure almost anything. Like, I'm not the type of person who needs a movie like that, but if you're making a movie about someone's depression, there has to be balance. There has to be balance in this movie, right? And so Smile is one of those movies that ends hopelessly, right? It ends with the character losing to her depression, to her trauma, right? Which, you could say whatever you want to say about that, but it doesn't depict it like this. There is not a character in that movie coercing the other person to kill themselves. Let's just call it a buck now. we're past the point of YouTube, shooting shit down. So let's just say what we want to say now. This movie has the mom, like, abusing the kids emotionally, like, neglecting, and physically throwing shit at them, right? And so you're like, damn, not a great mom. But you can kind of understand, like, she's grieving real bad. Like, you can kind of understand why she's doing what she's doing. And she's apologizing. And she's like, yeah, I don't know why I'm acting like this. I'm sorry. Like, I'm trying hard. Like, blah, 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 blah. At the climax of the movie, the woman in the yard, who is the physical embodiment of this woman's desire to kill herself, comes and tell her, hey, I'm here to help you. Every morning you've been waking up asking for the courage to go through with your suicide. Let's get it done. I'm here to help you. And she does. She's like, what about my kids? And she shows her pictures of her kids living, like, loving, happy lives, getting married, getting degrees, becoming doctors and all this shit. And I don't care to argue with any other psychologists on here. I don't care to argue about, well, this is a correct depiction of how, depression warps your ideas of, like, your loved ones and tells you that people will be better off without you. This is a correct depiction. I don't care. There is no balance in this movie. So anyone struggling with these things, well, that's another thing. There's a mantra in this movie, today's the day, right? The mantra is, today is the day. So over and over and over, the woman in the yard tells the main character, hey, today's the day that you're gonna fucking kill yourself, pretty much. Today's the day, today's the day, today's the day. Like, towards the end of the movie, the main character herself starts saying, today's the day. So, to give a mantra to your audience of potentially depressed people that today's the day, and that's the thing that's repeated over and over, and that's the literal mantra of the movie, that's a very dangerous thing to do. To have the fucking message at the end of the movie be, hey, your kids are better off without you. Hey, if you're depressed, if you have BPD, if you have anxiety, and, you're battling your mental health, your kids are better off with you dead. So do it already. So hurry up and get it over with. I'm sorry, you'll never see me saying that that's a good movie. You'll never see me saying that. I'm sorry, it's dangerous. I actually think this movie's dangerous. I genuinely think this movie is dangerous. They were trying to keep teenagers from watching 13 Reasons Why. They need to keep everyone from watching this fucking movie. Anyone with a pinch of anxiety. Like, I am the best mentally I've been in a long time. I went in there, and I'm coming out feeling like a bag of fucking bones. My heart is racing. My heart rate is up. Like, I was shaking in the movie. Towards the end, when the woman in the yard was convincing and, like, coercing and seducing the main character to kill herself, people were getting up and leaving the theater. And I don't blame them. And so I'm going to say, with my psychologist ass, that if you're struggling, no. People will not be better off with you fucking dead, okay? Go get help. Go get therapy. And you can do this. You can do that. You can fight anything. The human mind is one of the most resilient things on the planet. You can see the other side of literally almost anything. So no, woman in the yard, I don't accept your premise. I don't accept your message. And I know what you were trying to do, trying to be slick by making it, you can choose your own end. Look, the words are, fuck. How do I explain this without, like, explaining it? I guess I'm gonna have to explain it. Hold on. So while the main character is battling her depression, she has this little daydream where she's in this catatonic state in real life. She has this daydream that she's with her husband again, and, it's before the car accident, and they're in love, and he, she's laying down next to him, and she's like, and he's like, stay with me, and she realizes, like, hey, this isn't reality, this isn't real, this is my brain, like, doing something, it's catatonic right now, and the way she, like, figures it out for sure is his tattoo is backwards, and the time on the clock is backwards. So when she self-deletes at the end of the movie, she puts the shotgun against her head, and she, the cinematography tells you exactly when the shotgun goes off. You can tell. You could tell. So she does do it. At the end of the movie, they kind of try to, oh, look, no, see, she's stuck around. Like, there she is with her kids, and the power's back on, and blah, 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 look, nice. But then, at the very end, her name is written backwards on her paintings in the house. So it's telling you, the audience, that, no, she fucking killed herself. She did do it. She went through with it. And these last little seconds are probably some sort of catatonic thing her brain is doing. I've just never seen a movie before that told its audience through the main character, like, hey, your kids will be better off without you. And has no balance of, like, the opposite message. I'll say it again, this movie is dangerous. I genuinely believe that. I genuinely do. Because of how catchy that mantra is, today's the day, because of how the movie ends, there's no uplifting, thing. It's a dangerous movie, in my opinion. And that's not me saying censor art or put a fucking trigger warning, spiel on the beginning of this movie. That's not what I'm saying. I actually am not even sure what a proper solution to this would even be besides, why the fuck would you make something like this? Obviously a lot of people lose to their depression, to their BPD, to their anxiety every single day. It happens every single day. And those stories deserve to be shared. But I don't think sharing them like this was the most productive thing to do. I don't even know what to say about this. Every story deserves to be heard. I do agree with that. But some films do damage. Like Lolita. That's a movie that does some fucking harm. Ew, And so I get the same kind of, but different, obviously, vibe from this movie. It's a Debbie Downer, and not in a way that The Boy in the Striped Pajamas are. It's a Debbie Downer where it's just where I feel like it's actually trying to convince the audience that they don't matter. Or that, self-deletion is the answer sometimes, because it does show that the mom is kind of ruining the kids' lives with her outbursts and whatnot. And then when the demon or whatever is convincing her to go through with it finally, she shows a bunch of pictures of the kids living better lives without her. So my professional psychologist opinion, I can appreciate the imagery. I can appreciate the symbolism. I understand the movie front to back. I think it's I think it's well done, as far as symbolism and, the message being portrayed, and, the work with the shadows is really good, and there's some awesome cinematography, there's some good shots, but I feel like the message this movie portrays, the way it ends, what it says at the end, I feel like it's dangerous, and I don't know what else to say about that. And no, I don't want to debate you on whether or not the movie ended this way or that way, or what this symbol meant or whatever. I'm not interested in that debate at all. I think this movie is dangerous. And that's my thoughts. Please don't take this as an ad to go watch it. That's the opposite of what I would like you to do. Thank you.